Kevin, what in your mind, what's kind of been the ticket to you guys getting more possessions? Like usually in the beginning of the season, you guys would give away 10 shots, 11 shots, 12 shots, but the last few games you've turned that to your advantage and allowed your natural efficiency to take over.
Yeah, we're pretty even on the boards throughout the game, but I think we turned them over. 19 turnovers that could get us out on the break. I think our defensive pressure was good, was allowing us to get some turnovers, get some deflections, and was able to get out in transition, get some easy shots up. Shooting 10 more shots than this team, that's always a good formula for you to have a successful offense. And we was able to convert some too.
And Jacque's talked a lot about kind of building trust within the team and just asking guys to play hard. When we see you, with this huge grin after you block a shot and Kai going in the stands up 11 in the fourth, are these kind of indicative of that kind of workmanlike ethos that he's trying to preach?
Yeah. First of all, we want to be a connected group on both ends of the floor. And, in a lot of these plays that you make, sometimes you just got to be there to protect your teammates. And, so once we had that in our minds that, somebody gets beat, we have to be there. Somebody might have made a mistake on a switch or a backdoor cut, we still got to be there. And I think we've been preaching that. And, the hustle plays come with that. And, everybody's buying into it. So, that's the toughest part of the game, to be honest, is to continue to consistently do that every single night. And that's what the great teams do. They dial that up every night, even when the offense is not working. You still be a connected group on the defensive side. So we're building something. We got to continue to keep fine-tuning.
Kevin, you guys are at 8 of 9 now. Is there something you can point to in the last couple of weeks that really has clicked overall?
Favorable schedule, being at home for 7 of those, and being able to wake up in our own beds and have our own routine at home definitely matters. We also faced a couple teams that misses some guys as well, but for the most part, I like the brand of basketball we played on both ends of the floor. Regardless of who was on the court, we still played our system, and we did the things that we wanted to do out there on both ends. Being at home counts. Having everybody back as well, healthy, counts. So we just want to keep plugging away.
Kevin, give up 45 points in the second half. You really play defense. A month ago, almost exactly a month ago, in Sacramento, your defense looked like it was good. What has it just been having easy games, or is it more than that?
No, I wouldn't say we had easy games.
I don't mean that, but
yeah, even with that Sacramento loss, we gave 150, but the 4, 5, 6 games before that game, we were holding teams under 100 points. So I know we want to be more consistent, and we have been, but it's going to be times where we're up and down. What we want to do on the defensive side of the ball, trying to figure each other out. We're playing sometimes we might switch our defense throughout the game, and so. But for the most part, guys are just playing hard, trying to stay in front of the ball. That's a simple part of the game. Just you in front of your man, trying to guard up one-on-one, and then we rebound the ball better.
That you're facing a Washington team that's been struggling of late. What was the emphasis on just never giving them any hope, getting off to a good start, and kind of taking it away from them from jump?
Yeah, we talked about this being a trap game. You got some guys injured. We played a trap game last game against Indiana where they might have came in against us and relaxed a bit, and our young guys came in and won that game. So we didn't want to make that same mistake and come out and underestimate these pros out here, because they're pros and they're all talented. So regardless of who's in the lineup, guys want to showcase who they are. So we had to make sure that, we were focused on both ends of the floor, knowing that, we could use our schemes to, get an advantage. But if we'd have played too relaxed and, with no sense of urgency, we'd have definitely lost this game.
For you guys to win in Indiana shorthanded, what does that say to you about this group and the job that Jacque is doing?
It's just everybody loves to play. Jacque is doing a great job of making adjustments throughout the game, and that game was just incredible. Indiana made a lot of shots, but we weathered the storm and we stayed poised, and that's the type of team you want to be on. Regardless of what's going on around you, everybody staying focused and stand to the mission. I think the game was able to turn for us last game. So That was key. You give guys confidence coming off the bench, guys that don't play as much, but they still got confidence. From playing games like that, it was huge for us.
Kevin, what do you notice about this team with Bradley and without Bradley?
I mean, he's a Hall of Fame All-Star scorer, player. Sorry, calling him just a scorer is diminishing who he is. I mean, you take that away from your team, I mean, you're trying to figure out where that presence is going to be, that impact is going to be felt from. So, and then you got Rui hurt, then you got Porzingis was out the second half, so they've been hit with some injuries, and it's felt like it's been like that for this team the last couple of years. But when they all on the court, they got some a lot of talent, and once they put it all together, I know they'll go off on a run.
Kevin, you said you were building something with this squad right now. What are you starting to see that's sustainable long term?
The effort we playing with on the defensive side of the ball, I think. We figure out what type of team we want to be on that side of the ball, and we continue to keep trusting each other on the offensive end. That'll feed on our defense. We take efficient shots. Well, I think we're an efficient ball club on the offensive side of the ball too, so that helps our defense. But we try to hang our hat on, keeping our man in front, guarding one-on-one, and providing help when needed. So that's sustainable in any form of basketball.
When you say figure out what you want to be defensively, I mean, you guys have been switching a lot. You've been kind of red team, red out a lot. So what have you learned? Like what lineups work with who, what rotations, or? Yeah,
just, we switch, but sometimes throughout a game, you want to stay with your own man. Sometimes you don't have to switch your action, and we want to continue to keep those matchups the way we want to keep them. So in order for us to be a good team, we can't just lazy switch, point switch, and have a small on the big when we don't have to. And I think we're figuring that out as well. And, we want to be a team that can switch out and guard multiple, players. We got versatile defenders, but we don't want to put a smaller matchup on a bigger matchup or vice versa and cause we call a blender when guys driving and swinging and kicking, and now we're in scramble mode. So we want to keep the ball in front, and I think that's what we're working on now.
Ty, this is twofold. Jacque has always talked a lot about, building trust and asking you guys to play hard. When you see KD with that huge grin after a block and you're diving in the stands like headlong up 11 in the fourth, I mean, are these kind of exemplifying the kind of ethos that he's been preaching?
Yeah, building trust, that consistency, that discipline, and just having some fun out there, competing at a high level, doing all the little things, that makes a game swing sometimes. And they matter at the end of the day. We've been talking about it over the last few weeks, so just these little things. We had a great homestand, and now we got to take care of it on the road. Just have some fun doing it. When KD has a grin on his face, it means we're playing hard. Our leader's happy. And, all of us are taking that leadership role as well and controlling what we can control.
When earlier in the season you guys would frequently give up possessions. By that I don't mean you're trying hard in the possessions. I mean you're giving up 8, 10, 12 more shots than you're taking. Yeah. The last few games you've done a better job of evening that out or having an advantage in that to let your efficiency take over. What's been the key to that in your mind?
Just coming in prepared, putting in the work, and just letting the game come to you and just responding. We obviously want to be the aggressors going into games, and I think at times we can play back on our heels, so we're working towards just building that consistency of just coming out and setting the pace on what we want to do. And I think as you'll see in the future, we'll make some changes on the fly in games where, different lineups, guys playing harder. Jacque's made it very clear that if you're not playing hard enough, he's going to let you know about it. And, we got guys on the bench that are willing to go out and do those things. So it makes you take advantage of the time you're out there and the minutes you're out there, and then hold everybody else accountable.
Kyrie, you guys have won now 4 in a row, 8 of 9. As you look back over the last couple of weeks specifically, what do you think has clicked?
Just being in a good rhythm. Basketball guys rewarding us for playing hard.
25 assists on 44 made baskets. I know assists doesn't always tell the story, but do you think that's coming because you're getting the ball to the guys in the right spots? Is it the ball movement, combination of both?
Just making the right basketball reads. You know, like all of us work really hard in our game, so we want to go out there and play hard for one another. And when you have, nights where other teams don't necessarily have their starters, it could be a trap game, setup game. So we just want to establish our identity. Everybody that gets minutes, play as hard as you can, and live with the results.
I would have asked you really at shoot around, but I mean, did you have any thoughts on Brittany Griner? I mean, I know this is something that you've discussed in the past, but did you have any thoughts on her being finally?
Yeah, I'm grateful she's home. Grateful she's with her family. Most importantly, humanity comes first. We all feel for her. We all feel for everyone that is wrongfully imprisoned or in some type of prison somewhere where they haven't gotten their justice. So we feel for her for sure. I'm just grateful that we all can share in the celebration with her being here, and still more work to do out in our world.
Kyrie, have you seen enough of what's transpired recently to believe this is sustainable long term?
What do you mean?
That you can keep winning at this rate or similar to this rate?
It's a good question. We're just going to do our jobs every day. Live with the results at the end of the season when things really are clicking, hopefully. And I don't want to say hopefully. They will be clicking. We just got to put in the work. And whether it's sustainable or not, we're going to have to prove that to ourselves every time we lace them up. And every time we come in this locker room, every time we prepare, we know what the job is. So go handle it. And, teams are going to give us their best shots. But, again, we want to be the aggressors out there.
Do you think you guys, as a whole, big picture, are more process-oriented than results-oriented than you were last year?
Man, let's just go win ball games. That's it. That's really what the attitude is. Let's go win ball games. We know the talent we have. This is our group. No more excuses. No more distractions. You know what I mean? No more just throwing in kind of these surprise injuries. We just want everybody to be healthy, everybody to have fun coming in and playing their game.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep.